Over the summer, I was scheduled to take a Physics 101 exam. Um, the exam was just a final. I haven't studied physics prior for probably about a year before the exam. I contacted Mr. Lee approximately 3 weeks before the exam was scheduled to be taken. Um, I haven't reviewed anything before that, didn't pick up anything. So coming into the review, it was really starting basically from scratch. Minimal stuff was remembered. So we really had to take it from chapters 1 to 15, all in a very short period of time. Uh, so 3 weeks before, we met up and really had to take a different approach to how I would be studying for the physics exam. He had to figure out a way to kind of juggle different teaching techniques and kind of figure out how different teachers, since I was going through different teachers, for the exam, how he should be able to teach me, the course. Um, so over the 3 week period prior from the test, me and Mr. Lee met up approximately 7 times, each lesson ranging for about 2 to 2.5 hours. We got a total of 17 hours of study time between me and him, and about an additional 17 to 20 hours of studying on my own. I would review probably an hour to an hour and a half after every session. Coming into the test, I felt confident. I received a score of 70 out of 100, and the class average was a 60. Uh, don't know, what that came at to a letter grade, but definitely maybe B minus to A minus range. Uh, Basically, little mistakes were definitely made in the set. As soon as I left the test, I realized I could have definitely achieved a much higher grade. I definitely, was with Mr. Lee for such a short period of time. If I was one or two more sessions, I definitely feel I could have got a solid A on that with, coming with no doubts into the test. But we were working on such a short period of time. I'm amazed. I did 35 hours, 17 hours with him, 17 to about 20 hours of my studying on my own. That's not even a full semester of work. I studied for 15 chapters, 35 hours, took a test and got a 7 out of 100. Most students are doing 60 hours minimum of class time plus 40 to 60 more hours additional on their own of studying. So they're doing 100 plus hours of studying for, you know, 3.5 months. I did 35 hours studying 2.5 weeks before my test with Mr. Lee and received that grade. The style of teaching that Mr. Lee showed me was definitely the reason that I did so well. If I were to take this test a year ago, in timing with the actual course that I had and did it with my teacher at the time, definitely for a fact would not have gotten as high as a grade that I did with Mr. Lee. 10 times more confident, actually understanding what was going on in the test and not just hoping that I was getting it right. I can sit here and tell you I know what's going on with physics. I could, visualize it because of the teaching techniques I learned from Mr. Lee. He really, took a broad, just the way he did it. He would come in, like, focus into whatever topic we were learning that day, and then kind of zoom out and show me how it really played into the whole role of the physics, from beginning to end of the book. Not just, this is chapter one, learn chapter one, moving on to chapter two. I really saw how chapter two fit into all of physics, and then was zoomed back in and was able to really understand it deeply, and then see how it played out through the whole entire whole entire textbook or the lesson plan for the year. I would definitely push the type of teaching Mr. Lee taught me onto other people. I was taking the test at the same time a friend of mine was taking a summer session, but a full summer session, and we'd be studying together. And I'd be able to take things Mr. Lee showed me and bring that into my study session with my friends. And literally, just from things that Mr. Lee told me, and I was able to kind of tell my friends, they were able to learn it that much better I'm not a tutor. I was just saying what was told to me, and that's how simple or clear it became from his teaching that allowed me to understand physics that much better, and allowed me to even show other people physics that much better. It really just gave me, I wasn't learning how to answer a question. I understood the physics behind the curriculum, like knew how to solve the problem because I was able to visualize it from his teachings. Wasn't able to get that in any other situation from my school, from my physics professor. It was more of, that way. Mr. Lee really brought a change to how physics should be taught. It's dramatically, I mean, 35 hours studying with Mr. Lee. The way he did it, I haven't seen it somewhere else before, and this should definitely be pushed for a way of teaching around the campuses and colleges. This is the new style of teaching. This is what should be implemented.